Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dancing Bear Enlightenment Academy's podcast, Holistic Transformation. I'm your host, Dr. Beverly, and today we have a wonderful friend, Grace Mosgeller. She is a relationship repair specialist. Grace is a gifted spiritual healing and transformation specialist. She is the author of the book, The Freedom to Flourish, and she loves to help women entrepreneurs thrive after narcissism. Yes. Today, she will talk to us about 3 steps to repair relationships. Hi, Grace. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I always love talking with you. You're so entertaining.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we just had a great talk, didn't we?
Yeah, we
So,
recorded it.
yeah, accidentally. So, tell us, this is a new venture for you. You were selling the pain thing. So, tell us, what was the shift about? What is this new thing you're doing?
Oh, this isn't a new thing. The pain thing that what's not really pains, the patches, that's like a side hustle. And it was a health and wellness summit. So I was selling the patches, talking about the patches for the health and wellness summit. No,
Ah,
I've always been spiritual healing and transformation specialist. Um, it's just recently that I've kind of honed in how I help people to really thrive after narcissism. Because I had to, right? I mean, well, almost all of us that are spiritual healers have some sort of narcissist in our life. That's been the hitch in our giddy up, right? And so I got started on my spiritual healing journey about 27 years ago. Kind of, I know that because it was on my 40th birthday and I'm 67, so right. And at the time, I was just really angry and wanted a divorce. And my brother had somehow got me and my husband to enter the Tony Robbins Life Mastery program, 18 months of it. And the whole time I was like micromanaging my husband, pointing out, did you get this? Did you get this? Did you get this? Because I thought he was wrong and I was right. There's nothing wrong with me. And that he had all these issues wrong. And then on the last day of the last seminar, the last hour of the last day of the last seminar, all of a sudden I just get this big download, this big awareness of, oh my God, I'm not perfect. I have issues. There's something
oh
wrong with
no.
me. There's things I've got to heal. And I've just wasted 18 months micromanaging my husband. And so we're leaving the auditorium like a sea of people. Have you ever been to one of those Tony Robbins things?
No,
There's
he
like
doesn't turn
two,
me on.
there's like 2,000 people,
Oh
right?
God.
And it was in Hawaii, and I'm wearing shorts. And so I'm, in a light shirt, and we're walking out, and I'm like kind of dazed. And I go, oh God, what do I do? I don't know. I mean, I've got help. And so then I felt this invisible set of hands on my shoulders, and it turned me and pushed me towards a leadership academy training table. And then I was walking there, I'm kind of watching in awe, and my hand, it goes in my pocket, and it pulls out a credit card. I'll just show you this one, right? Well, it wasn't this one, but it was like this one. And I had just paid it off, right? And it took a while to pay it off, right? And I handed it over and I put down $5,000
Ah,
on
oh,
this
no.
leadership training program, which is a lot of money now, but it was even a lot back then, right? Even more. And so that began my big awakening. And I did a deep dive immersion into learning and applying all the laws of spirituality, applying them to my life because the way I was trained, I realized I was wrong, right? So the way I was trained, how I was brought up, wasn't working. And along the way, I got certified and trained, and I was always in some sort of healing class, going to a healer. Therapists didn't really work with me. They didn't understand me. I didn't understand them. So it was just the healers that I could really relate to. And I did get divorced, and I did raise children on my own, and which was really, really hard. And the more I applied the laws of relationship, of a romance, because I did end up with a couple of romances along the way, and it just and of abundance and of healing to my life, the better things came. And I did end up pulling myself out of a really toxic married man relationship where you know how you get so sticky and you're just like so enmeshed. And I never slept with him, although you know it was one of the hardest no's I ever had to say in my life. But on the other side of that, I really started building my self-esteem and doing more deep work. Ended up in a relationship with the best man of my life, best friend, lover, best. It was healthy, and the relationship with my kids got better. They turned out to be fine young men, where in the beginning it kind of looked like maybe they weren't. You know, they might have gone down that path that I couldn't have handled if they did. And I don't know. The more I did the work and the more empowered I got, I realized that the biggest leaps in self-empowerment, the biggest leaps in self-worth came the more I healed the relationship between my father and my mother. And when I entered energy healing school, that's when I learned all the mindset tricks that I had learned, all the leadership training and the NLP and the, you know, focus on what you want stuff. Wasn't really working for me, but when I got into energy healing school, it started to do that. And I learned how to take the super strong embedded logic of my brain and drop it into my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did that, that raised that inner glow, that inner vibration, that inner light. And that became my power not only to accept my good and that I was worthy and deserving, but and in order to get that way, to let go of the false beliefs that I had glommed onto as a result of, you know, trying to please your parent, trying to survive.
Yeah.
And um, then all of a sudden this narcissism, this word just kept flying around the internet. I'm like, what's that? What's that? And I realized, oh, that was my dad. Oh, that was me for a while. Oh, that was that toxic relation thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And so I'm like, and then I looked at all the clients that ever come to me and I was like, oh, that's them too, right? And by accident, like I didn't plan it, it's by accident. I learned the root cause, the root cause for both why a narcissist takes and then runs hot and cold. And while his quote victim or his lover or you know the person that he's in relationship with just gets walked all over. And while they continue to be the doormat and give and give and give and realize it was the same exact wound, but it was just a different soul personality that was responding to the quote trauma. And the trauma always is an absence of love, right?
Yeah.
And responding to the absence of trauma in one way, oh, there's no love here, I'll take it. That's a narcissist. Oh, there's no love here, I'll just give more until it happens. And that's the team player, the overgiver. And so that's how I kind of became a relationship repair specialist. And
That's a nice, clear way to describe the two sides. The lack of love, one takes what they can, the other just keeps giving. And
yeah, and
that's the dynamic.
actually, divinely, it's a very divine relationship. Certainly doesn't feel like it, but when you start to heal it, it turns out that the role of the narcissist to help the overgiver is to help them finally realize, oh, I have to put down a boundary. And you know, it's the no contact at first because you know it's so sticky, you have no power within them. You're just like mesmerized by them. But when it's your family, when it's your husband, when it's your son, when it's your daughter, when it's your mother, you don't really want to have a no contact with them. So how do you heal that past that? And that's what I'm really, really good at. It's one of the 3 steps to repair relationships. Um, that I'm doing in a challenge coming up shortly. I'll talk about it at the end. But I don't know where I was going with that.
I was saying the three ways that you heal it.
The 3 what you want to know the 3 ways? So
Well,
three
that's what you
ways.
said.
Yeah. No. I think I wasn't gotten there yet, but the 3 ways I'll get to in a second.
Okay.
But oh, the reason that it's a divine relationship is the overgiver learns boundaries. And even more exciting to me is that the narcissist finally learns to accept unconditional love, because they get pretty mean, nasty, and ugly. They do horrible things, and working with them, and they realize that they have. Once they realize it, most of the time they don't. It's fully justified logic, but when they realize, they're like mortified, like, really, I if I'd know what I was doing, I would have done it, right?
Or they never wake up. My husband never woke up.
They never wake up, but what wakes them up is the team player, the overgiver, the one that loves to just give. I mean, her sole purpose is to love without needing any return. They love the narcissist so much that they feel it, and that happened to me. So have you heard of Carolyn Mason, the victim to victimizer to victorious? That's the route of a victim to empowerment. And when you're a narcissist, like we just said, the victim is, oh, there's no love here. So they'll just do what was done to them and be a victimizer and take. And then the victorious is when they realize that they are lovable. And that's a whole focus of where people come to me for, is to figure out, well, they are lovable. And when they realize they're lovable, then they are awake. And then they can forgive, and they can let go of the mean, nasty, and ugly habits and patterns that they've been with. And they can heal the relationship with their family, and their family's flabbergasted. I've done this several times already with people. And then the overgiver finally learns to stand their ground and say, stop treating me that way. I love you. And actually, there's this really cool energetic process where you can put energetic boundaries of self-respect around you that takes the kick me sign off your back. And it starts with really voicing your anger. And I don't want to take away the whole thing, but it's one of the days of my challenge that's coming that goes along with what I'm talking about, right? We'll uncover. And once they do that, then they're able to recognize a narcissist, and instead of running and hiding, or running and putting up a wall, or pointing a finger, right? They can just stand calmly and just kind of go, okay, and incoming attacks don't affect them, and they don't get sucked in. And so then families can heal.
That's what happened with my family. But I did no contact because they were so
You have to do
abusive. I just said no contact to my parents. I just didn't contact them. I worked on myself for 5 years. And then my power animals came to me and said, you need to contact your mother right away. And I contacted her and we made up. And 2 months later, she died. So they must have known she was going to die. So thankfully, I made up with her beforehand. But then my father and my relationship completely changed, and we were able to be together without him being abusive at all. Just completely
Yes.
changed.
And that's
Yeah.
what forgiveness does. It just changes the energetic dynamic between people,
It
even if
rippled.
you're not in therapy with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
But I had
just,
to work on me. I didn't
yes,
work on them. I worked on,
right.
I had to fix me.
right. You fix me, and as you're fixing me, you're repairing the relationship with them.
Yep.
And
It
so then
absolutely does work.
it does work. And so the goals of repairing relationship is twofold. One is to find your lovable,
Yeah.
because you don't have that. But once you find it, then viscerally, you feel. It's like you're self-validating. Oh, I am deserving of being treated, of having, of being able to. I am valuable. I am cared about. And that's a different world. That's a different way of being. And it's kind of like the difference between being on land and then snorkeling in a water with a lot of fish. It's like a completely different world. And I'm very passionate about it because I've lived in both those worlds and I want everybody to be in the world with all the fish.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
much better there.
So
But I think it's not just family. I think, as I look back, it's all our relationships, and it happens in subtle ways that we don't notice. And then you go, what is going on here? What is happening? And then, oh my God, I'm doing it again. And then you have something new to heal. It's
well,
not
and
simple.
that's yeah. Well, I think that the the second goes to the first goal of really healing from it completely is one, being lovable, and second is something I call epic forgiveness. I
Mhm.
learned that term in the healing school I went to. And that's when you realize that what happened to you and that how they treated you was the best thing that could ever have happened. And I heard that for years and I'm like, yeah, no, they're wrong.
No,
There's
but that's how we learn.
no, not possible. Right? But it is.
Yeah.
And now I'm happy and free and like weights lifted off and um my heart's expanded. I'm big, I'm huge, I'm connected to the divine, and I love life. And before I was bottom crawling.
Yeah.
That my health was bad. Chronic fatigue, a little bit of fibromyalgia, throw in a little bit of depression and suicide thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I clawed myself out. So there's 3 steps. Do you want to know what the 3 steps are?
Yeah. Please. Pretty sure I already know.
I'm sure, well, I've really condensed them down, right? So they're big. There's just absolutely, there's probably, well, I forgot 5. That's 5. My challenge has 5 days of repairing relationship. But in a nutshell, the first one is decide and make the intention. I'm going to repair this relationship.
Intention. Yeah.
I want a better life, right? And you decide. And you're just like, you're not putting up with it anymore. And if you have to do no contact, and then get the help, right?
Yeah.
And the second one is seek to understand. So I quantum leaped my understanding and therefore my ability to forgive and therefore my freedom from the repeating toxic habits and relationships by understanding soul personalities. And that would be day 2, or that was day 1 in my challenge, the 5-day challenge coming up after this. And so when you seek, Einstein, he's got this quote that says, you want to seek to understand so that you fear less. Because when you understand something, it takes the unknown and the fear and, oh, it's all about me out of the equation. And when you can fear less, then you can love more, which is the whole purpose of our soul.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a soul personality profile system that shows the habits and tendencies and purpose of 5 different soul quote archetypes when they're unconscious. And then you can see, oh, that's why he was micromanaging me, and it's my way or the highway. Boom, boom, boom. Right. And that's why I would go down into a big heap of poor me and not be able to pull myself off the floor, but then feel really beat myself up and then pull my bootstraps up and hide it. Right. So once you understand that, then it's like it takes the fight out of it's your fault. And when you realize, oh, I'm just was unconscious. And then what's even more amazing about it is it shows you what your purpose is in the form of love, how you're meant to love. Like a leader that turns into a narcissist is just someone that never found love, and there's no love there, so they'll take it. But once they feel lovable, they're no longer needing to take. So then they become a heart-centered servant, a servant, what do you call it? A heart servant, servant leader. There you go, a servant leader. And that's huge. And the world needs more servant leaders than the ones that are just, oh, that's business. I'm just gonna, take what I need. I'm gonna, and you make everybody around me support me. It's all about me, 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 me. Right. And that's another quality of a leader is it is all about them. And I mean, there's reasons behind that. So that's the first. And so first you want to see, understand so that you can forgive. And then you find and integrate your lovable. And you do that by recognizing what your higher self purpose is. You bring that into the light, and then you recognize, you look down the timeline of your life through that inner glow, through the feeling of, I call it the feeling of self-healing, just your connection between the divine, the heart and soul, that inner glow within. And then you feel and through that lens, and you can look down the timeline of your life, and you already have the evidence that you have been living your purpose, you have been loving. It's just the filter, you haven't been able to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then once you do that, that's a new feeling. Never felt that way before. There's no point of reference for it. So your nervous system is going to like sabotage it away, right? And so there's a healing I love to do right in the moment, right there. I used to do it on another session, but I found it really integrates quickly, gently. It's kind of like a Cadillac healing of really integrating this new feeling into your autonomic nervous system. So instead of triggered into fight or flight, it stays in peace.
Yeah.
When your nervous system stays in peace, you heal from within. Your body heals, your mind, your spirit heals. It's awesome.
Yeah. Very true. And so is that your gift? Or your gift is relationship repair challenge? Is that the same thing or something different?
Yeah, no, it's a challenge. It's a 5-day. I offer it once a month. The third on the in the middle of I'm beginning the relationship repair challenge for this month. So what people would sign up for in May or in June. So if they go to that link, they can read about all the details of what's in the challenge. And the challenge is to see your relationships from a higher perspective and to really repair them, begin the steps of repairing. That is a challenge because narcissism is not fun.
No.
You
And
know.
the link is, if you're on YouTube, is down below. And if you're listening to the podcast, it's gracemosgeller.com/RR challenge, as in
No, no, no.
relationship.
No. It's / relationship challenge. Where does it go? I put it in the chat.
Oh,
I said that was the RR. That goes to a 3-day. It's relationship. gracemosgeller.com / relationship challenge. Sorry.
okay. So Grace is GRACE, Mosgeller is MOSGELLER.com /relationship challenge. And that's in May or June that they can register, correct?
Correct. And it's 5 days, and it's a life change. It's a game changer. Good, definite game changer.
And if you think the other person is the narcissist and they need help, it's time to look in the mirror.
That's not fun. That's one of the principles that we have to look at. Yes. But it's a great tool of transformation.
Wonderful gift, Grace. Thank you. So do you have any closing remarks for our audience?
There's no amount of money or amount of words that describe the freedom, the expansive joy, the zest, the love, the sensuality of life that can be felt after you've emerged victorious after being squished by a narcissist.
Very true. Very true. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today. It was always great to connect with you again.
I know, we always get along so well. I love you. Thank you.
And thank you all for listening and being with us today. And if you would be kind enough to like and subscribe, that helps the channel a lot. So we will see you next time. And remember to be the light you want to see in the world.